And as a matter of fact, they expected a lot more applications and they didn't get as many as they had anticipated.
Really?
Yeah, now I can explain it. And when I explain it to my clients, I say, hey, we're going to open up the Airbnb account. This is the way to get to Superhost. Superhost is important because when people are looking on Airbnb, you'll be among the top 10 that'll pop up.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the What's Next podcast. I'm your host, Levi Casada, and the guy behind the camera that I always have to introduce is the Tony Hernandez. Say hello, Tony.
Yo, yo, yo.
Tony,
welcome, everybody.
Yeah, Tony's here, doing all the production, doing all the editing. So thank you so much, Tony. I don't think I thank you enough.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I don't think you do.
It's a lot of production. It's a lot of work. We got 3 cameras rolling, 2 lights, cameras, mics,
Action,
audio. Yeah. Come on, you got to tell me when to go. 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, and then also like it had to be like a semi co-host, right?
Well, I don't know. Let's not go that far. You sit there most of the time, which is good. Well, I don't know. I think, Tony, we're on this has been an amazing run. So I want to thank everybody who, our past guests, people who are watching. I want to thank everybody. It's been so fun to be on this show and to produce this show. I know Tony has a good time. We always learn something new. I think we're like in our 22 episode or something. It's been a year. So thank you again. Today is no different. You're going to learn something new. So stay tuned because this one is going to get you. We're going to capture you and you're going to get a hold of this woman. She's so amazing. I want to introduce you. She's going to teach us how to live for free in San Diego. This is my pleasure to introduce Noemi Flores. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. First podcast?
First one.
And did I get the name right?
You did.
Okay, good.
Nice.
I know. Thank you. The Noemi.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Noemi.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, you excited to be here?
Yes, I'm very excited to
Yeah.
be here today.
To be here today?
Yeah.
I know. Sorry we ramble on a little bit, but that's how the show goes. We just, whatever you feel like saying, is just say it.
Good.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do an icebreaker. This is how we always start the show. Get to know you, get to know me a little bit. We're gonna do would you rather questions.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for the first
Ready or
one?
not, here we go.
Ready or not, here we go. They're super easy. I didn't go crazy. I think the last one is gonna be a little difficult for us, but this one is a little weird. Would you rather the aliens that make first contact be robots or organic? You like that? Just coming out of the gate right there, like.
That's a good one.
Wow.
So would you rather them be organic or robots?
I would say robots.
Robots. See, and we've had this conversation, Tony, and even with some other guests, that artificial intelligence is here, right?
Sounds
this
like,
whole
yeah,
AI,
it is,
the whole chat AI thing. So like, I don't know.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Tesla,
I don't know if I want to put that in a piece of metal that would
Read your mind, technically.
That read my mind.
Well, hopefully I could reprogram it with my computer programming background.
There you
There
go.
you go.
That's why I asked that one. Yeah. Hopefully I'm going to go right to your house and we'll be like, hey, these people are coming. Well, hopefully they're friendly for one.
Yeah.
Organic. I don't know. I think they're portrayed very organically in a lot of movies, which are terrifying.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch alien movies growing up?
I did.
Yeah. Any one of them scare you?
Was it Alien 3, I think. Although the E.T. movie was probably less, it was more.
Yeah, but that was emotionally scarring.
It was
for a lot.
Traumatizing.
I feel like it still is. Yeah.
Yeah, but Alien movie, I don't know. We were watching that pretty young.
It's tough. Well, you'll say will the organic life will have like emotions? Because if it's the AI, they can just be like, okay, we're in this planet, and if they think just straight out, okay, we don't need these humans, let's just eradicate them.
Yeah.
I
think is with robotic, you're thinking of a whole army and like them trying to take over as a robotic thing. Like organic, I'm hoping that we can like be like, hold hands, like push each other on the swing.
Or they'll push you off.
Or they'll push me off the swing.
or give it disease and stuff.
Yeah.
Viruses.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. All right. This is going too deep on that one already. All right, here we go. Next one. Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak? Lose the ability to read or to speak. It's basically if you're an introvert or extrovert. It's a really extreme there.
Yeah, I like reading, but I would say speaking, that would be hard. So I would say the speaking one.
You would
I wouldn't want to keep.
you would keep the
Yeah, I would keep
speaking
the
one. So
speaking one
you'd be
and-
like not be able to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the same way. So are you an extrovert at heart? Do you,
I would say yes.
or do you do it just because of your profession?
No, actually, I think I've pretty much always been an extrovert.
You like to go out and do things and be around people.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I like reading too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
same thing.
It's a good balance. Sometimes I like, after going out, I like to kind of come back and refresh at home and, just be in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you feel drained after being in a group around a group of people, or
Not
you feel
at all.
like
I feel energized.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
feel
a true extrovert. Yep.
I would say I definitely feel energized after I'm hanging out with a group of people.
Yeah.
Even if it's people I didn't know and I just met. So
Yeah.
I just love it.
Well, we've talked about this in a different podcast because my wife brought it to my attention is that extroverts start their day with their cup empty and they need interactions like this to fill them up. And then so they're getting, filled up through people and the interaction stuff. Where an extrovert, it's not like they hate going out. I think everybody thinks,
introvert.
yeah, an introvert hates going out. They don't. They just start with their cup full. So when they sit down in these situations, we're drawing out of their cup and we're depleting them. So when they get home, they're like, oh, that was terrible.
They get inside the car and they're like,
Yeah, I'd rather just be home. But you are a true extrovert if you're like, I'm charged and ready to go. Yeah. So speaking, me too. I'm the same way.
you can always ask, what does it say?
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather have a golden voice or a silver tongue, which is basically being a great singer
Oh,
or convince people of things, convince people to do things, kind of manipulate them. So a silver tongue is kind of manipulate
Manipulate them?
people, convince them to do stuff. You're a smooth talker, and then the golden tongue would
Well,
be like, I'm
manipulated.
just not just a good singer. You're a great singer.
well, manipulating sounds kind of evil.
I know. That's why I didn't put manipulate in there, but I figured you
But
guys
if you're a smooth talker, a smooth talker is different than manipulating.
you're convincing people.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, even great people.
You're going too deep into it. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I would say, I admire people that can sing. So I'd go with the singing.
I would go with the singing too. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I just think it's so beautiful that somebody can do that.
Do you have
so
a
many tones.
good voice?
Not at all. I'd probably break your windows. I try to crack your windows right now. Let's not even try.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I am.
So
Yeah, can't sing. My daughter tries to sing, and I can't even hear her sing because she's so much better than me. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then they're like, you are so bad that you don't know. Like I just don't have the ear for it.
Me
I don't
neither.
have it. I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Tone
me
deaf.
neither.
I think I would go with the silver one.
You rather manipulate? I know you would.
Not
You're
manipulate, but I don't want to.
No, you convince people, but you're a smooth talker.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
more. I think more like a public speaking,
Oh,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Or motivate
point.
people, right?
Yeah.
If somebody's down, like I can talk to them and just like they feel better.
Well, we're gonna
see?
sing them lullabies, and that's just what's gonna be. We're gonna make their day with song,
Okay.
Tony.
Okay.
With
And you're like,
song.
yeah. Sure.
Okay. Would you rather know the history of every object you touch or be able to talk to animals? Would you like to know the history of every object you touch or be able to speak to animals?
A good one.
That is a good one. I like history.
You
So
do?
I think I'm going to go with that one.
Nice. Do you have animals?
I do.
You do?
I have a dog.
You have a dog?
13 years that I've
Oh
had him,
my
yeah.
goodness. I feel like speaking to animals might be a curse after a while.
Yeah.
Like touching an object that you have the ability to be like, oh, I'm not going to touch that object. That doesn't look like I want to know what's the history behind it. But speaking to a dog or like,
I may not want to know what he thinks sometimes.
yeah, right? You go to a dog park and all these dogs are talking. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh man.
Such a great conversation. You know?
know,
Maybe they have better conversations than we do.
Yeah. These
That's-
poor animals.
I know. I have seen so many memes about these kind of questions.
Would you really?
Yeah,
Did you?
like this guy is like, would you rather speak like all languages or like speak to animals? And he's like, imagine talking to animals and you're about to kill a spider, and the spider like, man, I have a family, I have kids. Like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry.
That would be true. That'd be tough. Yeah. So that became a very easy answer then. So grab the object, learn where it's from. I don't know. There might be some objects you don't want to know where they're from too.
You have to pick and choose the object.
You have to pick and choose the object. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your shirt, you're like, no, Nike. No, I was just kidding, Nike. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'd be super easy. Like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on from there. It's a different podcast. All right. Would you rather spend the rest of your life with a sailboat as your home or an RV as your home?
I'm going to go with RV.
RV?
Oh, yeah.
You like to travel?
I'm adventurous. I'd like to see more of the country. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like the ocean is the ocean. I feel if I pull up and I see another body of water, I'm like, okay, another body of water. There's so much to discover in the United States alone.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. I haven't even been to the Grand Canyon, so I need to.
Wow.
There's a lot to explore if I was in an RV.
Nice. I lived in Arizona and I haven't been to the Grand Canyon.
Really?
Yeah, that's
a
bad.
tough question for me.
You would like to be on a boat?
Okay, I love the ocean and the adventure of just. I have this illusion, like this desire that one day I'm gonna be rich enough to be like live for like 3-4 months and just cross the Pacific all the way to
wow.
Japan
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
in a sailboat.
That's
yeah.
a different. That's pretty cool. That'd be
That's
pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I realistically, well, I get motion sickness either way if I'm in an RV or a boat. So this one is just
Oh, that
You
one's
should
hard
see
for
him
you.
in the airplane.
this is just this question's a nightmare either way to me.
Yeah, sure.
But I feel like I could handle myself better in an RV
Oh yeah.
than
'Cause you
on
can
the-
stop.
Yeah, I mean, this weather has been terrible. This
Yeah.
wind. If people living on boats right now, I would have died.
Oh yeah.
I would have been like, give me my RV. I'm going to land.
Yeah, well, you can just stop the RV driving and just get
Yeah.
up to land.
As
Yeah.
opposed to a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah,
it's.
you snow it.
Yeah.
And I love the beach, by the way. You know, I love going to the beach, but I would say that probably living in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so
That's
much.
true.
It's
I'll
doing
go
it.
visit it.
How do you get food though, right?
Well, you got to
You
catch
gotta
your
fish.
food, man. Yeah, you're living on a boat. I've watched those people.
That's a tough way of living though, right? Living
It's-
on a boat.
It's a tough way. You either have to prepare early. I mean, you're always calculating how far you're going to go
Yeah.
to where you're going to need food, and you really have to prepare for the worst every time.
Yeah.
You just don't know when there's going to be a storm or
And
something.
Storm, you lose your food somehow, it goes bad.
Yeah.
You capsize.
Your ace, yeah, that is the worst case scenario. And then people getting to you is a lot harder than people
Yeah.
getting to you like on the road.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Sorry for all you boaters out there, but we are land people, true and true. All right, here we go. Would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for food at restaurants?
I like to explore. I think I'd go international.
First class all the
Yeah,
way.
let's do it.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing. Again, I hate planes. I love food, so I'd probably pick the food.
I think I pick the food. I'll save so much money.
and then you
with
can buy your
I can
first
pay,
class.
I save it
yeah.
and I can. Yeah. Imagine that.
And you
yeah.
can buy your airplane after
And I
all.
can
Save
buy
all that
my
money.
jet- Yeah.
Buy your own
imagine.
plane. Yeah.
And it won't make me look so good with prospect clients. Imagine I take them to the fanciest restaurant in the city.
That's true. It's on me.
It's on me. I got it.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy that too. I enjoy enjoy going to a restaurant and just being like, bye.
Yeah.
I would still tip. I'd still make sure you guys are all taken care of out there. Don't I would be the cheap guy. But
Yeah.
I do want my meal for free.
Yeah.
The first class ticket thing, I think it would be pretty awesome to just go whenever you wanted. Like, bye-bye.
That's
I'm in
true.
first class, get on a
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
I've never flown first class, have you?
Never.
I know. Let's do it
How
sometime.
much
I
is
know,
that?
right?
I checked the other day and I was like, what? How much is it? Like 2,000 something like that, or 1,500?
Good luck, depending on where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have kids too, so like
so that
I'd
would-
be leaving them behind. At least I can go feed my kids. Sorry, first class
I know,
only.
right?
Coach back there,
That's
like
true. I mean,
there's-
if I can't take my kids, then I'd go with the food because honestly, there's so many places they want to go eat.
yeah, right. The food for the kids
Oh,
alone
yeah,
would
yeah.
be so
Like, sorry.
pricey.
yes.
Yeah,
So only if
Yeah.
I can take my kids, I'll do the
That's true.
first option.
yeah. Well, and I try to order the kids menus at the restaurants. They don't let us anymore. They actually put a sign on there that says 12 and under. But
Oh my god.
all right, would you rather move to a new city or town every week, or never have to be able to leave the city or town you were born in?
I love San Diego.
You live.
I'm
you
sorry,
live in
but
the
you know
best. You
what?
grew
I'm
up in the
good.
best. Yeah.
I'm good. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw the article, but the top 10 U.S. cities that millionaires are buying their second home, San Diego is on the list. So
Wow.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them
Nice.
either. Right. Regardless of all the weather we had, and I'm not a native, but like
It's not that bad. That's what I heard.
It's not that bad, but you know, you get to this weather and you're just like, oh, we're going to complain when it gets hot. So it's just, I mean, and that's in every state. But if we go on the average of how well our weather is all year round,
Pretty good.
Oh yeah.
there's no better city out there.
I was talking to this Canadian girl, and I was like, oh yeah, it's been raining, and she's like, dude, this is heaven. I'm from Canada. It's a bunch of snow right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we have it pretty good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
gotta say,
we're
San
not
Diego.
far from everything. So there is what did I call it last time? I don't even know what it's called.
All right.
You said you might have done it. It's being able to surf in the morning.
The California experience, something
The
like that?
California,
Southern California experience, something
Yeah,
like that,
surf
right?
in the morning, go snowboarding in
Yes.
the afternoon. I mean, you're
and
only
then
about
and then drink wine in the evening.
There
Like
you
it's
go.
3, like in the desert. So you are in like 3 different climates, like
Yes.
just in the same day.
Yeah.
yes,
That's why California.
hands down,
Hands
San
down.
Diego.
California
Yes.
forever.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
do you go to Instagram
Yeah,
a little bit?
Yeah.
There's a guy, I don't know what his, I got his handle. I'm gonna give him a shout out, but like
Yeah.
California ever go bye. Like he always talks about how everybody says, get out of California. People are moving out of California. It's not a place to live. And then he will go on this rant. He's all, because you're from South Dakota. Like you have nothing there. And then he always ends it. It's a tagline.
His name is TK.California.
Yeah. You got to look him up. We'll show you some afterwards. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny, but he is true California for
Forever. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Last one. Would you rather never run out of battery power for whatever phone or tablet you own, or always have free Wi-Fi where you go? This one I was torn with kids. We all 3 have kids, and we all have 3 have young kids. So it's either have a fully powered tablet and phone at all times, or you're going anywhere and you have Wi-Fi. I think my kids would choose Wi-Fi.
I think I could live with Wi-Fi and the kids anywhere.
Anywhere you
Yeah,
went. Like
anywhere
you're in
we
the
went.
car,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, you walk out.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I could make it work.
Yeah. If I never have to ask anybody what's your Wi-Fi password again, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh, do you want my Wi-Fi password? No. I'm always on Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Okay. So I would choose that one too.
Yeah.
I mean, there is times where my kid is running in with his tablet and unplugging my device to plug his in. So I'm like, oh, that would be nice to have power
All the time.
all the
true.
time.
It's true.
So you have 2 beautiful kids. How old are they?
They're 4 and 6.
They're 4 and 6. What an age.
Yeah, it's adventurous.
It's adventurous, right?
Yes.
Tired, Mom?
Yeah, it's keeps me busy for
It
sure.
does keep you busy.
Yes, but they're great.
Good. Well, where did it all start? So you're born in San Diego. What part of San Diego?
So I grew up in Normal Heights.
Okay.
And I went to Hoover High School in City Heights.
Okay.
And then from there went on to college, to UCLA.
What made you choose UCLA?
Oh, Bruins all the way.
Really? This
I'm
episode
sorry,
is tough.
Trojans. Sorry,
man.
USC.
This is a March. This is a March podcast, so I'm just gonna let you know it's March Madness.
Yes.
We just lost to you guys. I'm a U of A Bear Down fan. Yes,
okay.
Bear Down Cats.
Okay.
And that's now our rival is you guys because
Yeah.
it's so they're congratulations. You're number 2 in the nation right now.
know.
Probably get a 1
No.
seed. Anyways,
Excited
you
about
chose them, the Bruins. It was close.
Bruins.
It was close enough to home.
Yeah, it was close enough to home, so I could drive back. My brother also was there, so we got to be roommates, and yeah, it was awesome.
Older brother.
Older brother, yeah.
Nice. So was he how much older?
3 years.
3 years. So he was almost on the way out when you were coming in.
Exactly.
That's a good time to go in because he's not too like I'm doing my own thing, sis. But he's
Not at
there.
all.
He's already done his own thing. He's
I
there
probably got my
graduating.
best grades when he was still there.
Right.
Kind of tapered off when he left.
He was watching over you, and then he's like, "Oh, she's gonna do her own thing. It's trouble."
Yeah.
Well, good. So, what did you study at UCLA?
I majored in economics and minored in computer programming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to do always?
Yeah, so business was always on, I don't know, I've always kind of catered to whatever is businesses and the economy, and I kind of wanted to learn more about how the economy works. And so it's kind of just a natural fit for me. And then from there, just was very involved in business clubs on campus, and fortunately, I was president of the business club on campus, so that was also just lots of fun.
Yeah, you got involved in everything, and then computer programming was just kind of a side.
You know what? Computer programming, I was just very analytical and just numbers and looking at all those programs and how to make them work does require a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And so that kind of just catered to that.
Are you a Virgo?
No.
No. Okay,
not.
interesting. I just know they're very like.
Yeah, no.
I'll have to.
I'm a March baby. So.
You're a March baby. Oh well, happy
Yeah.
birthday!
Thanks.
Did we miss it or it's coming up?
It's coming up. It's in St. Patrick's, so.
Oh, you share St. Patrick's Day 17th. That's a tough one.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's celebrating.
I know.
Everybody's. You can go to any bar and people will get you a drink at
Oh
that
yeah,
time.
it's fine.
Or you get like punked a lot.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
your birthday.
On your birthday. Basically you know what you're wearing on your birthday. It's green.
Every year.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Every year, all the pictures.
Did people prank you on your birthday?
No,
Like-
I haven't gotten pranked. Maybe in college. Actually, in college, I did
Yeah.
with my roommates. But other than that,
Nothing crazy. No?
Do people prank on St. Patty's Day? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I got to
it's a
do
thing.
some
I think
prank.
they just pranked me because they were my roommates.
Is that why you trying to catch the leprechaun? Is that what it is?
I just know that the people prank on
Oh, okay.
St.
I
Patrick's
don't know.
Days.
So you're in college. You're graduating.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about moving back home, or did you like LA, like outside of
Actually,
college?
no. I was in the pre-MBA program for the UCLA Anderson School.
Okay.
So actually, since I was leading the business club on campus, I thought my direction was going to remain in Los Angeles, but there was a change of plans, and I needed to come back and take care of my mom and my 80-year-old grandmother. So,
Wow.
So that's okay. I came back and made sure that I was head of household at 24. So
That's incredible.
yeah.
Not too many people would do that coming out of college, and it's that goes a lot about your personality. Says a lot about your personality and how family means a lot to you.
Family does mean a lot to me,
Yeah.
and so it was not a hard decision at all.
Yeah.
So kind of in my family and my culture, they pretty much my family culture, because it's pretty much just an unspoken word that you take care of your elders, and
Right.
that's they took care of us, and I think that that's what needs to be done.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think that generation is, I don't know, it might be gone. I mean, it depends on how they grow up, and
Yeah.
it's a lot different these days because of technology. I think technology is good and it is bad. I think that's the disconnection.
Yeah.
And it goes saying with the parents, like it's easier to put people on a tablet and kids and stuff instead of building traditions. So I think you should, advice today, if you're out there, build traditions with your family.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest way to keep, them attached, them loving you, them coming back. I always say it too. And oh man, sometimes I just want to hit the pause button. The kids go so fast.
They do grow fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it came back, and I always knew that I wanted to purchase property. I just didn't. When I came back, I was not licensed as a realtor. So
You're 24.
I was, yeah. So I had graduated from college and then came back, and so and kind of thrown into this responsibility of my mom and my grandmother. So
Financially as well?
oh yeah, no, financially,
Oh, my
I was like, that's interesting. This is gonna be. I gotta make this work again. Analytical side and numbers. I had to figure that out, and then because all my connections were in Los Angeles,
Right.
so that's kind of the path I was going. But you know what? Things started to fall into place, and
What was your first job coming back?
My first job coming back, I worked at UCSD at this school called the Preuss School. I was the admissions. I ran the admissions side of that school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, but I always, like I said, we were renters, and well, as you know, renters, you can, one day to next can change. And one day I went to my mailbox and I opened a letter from the property owners, and they said, hey, we're selling, we're converting these apartments into condominiums and selling them, so you can either buy it or you need to move out. And so can
Really?
you imagine, my grandma who's on a walker, having to, moving is hard enough, but
Of course.
for somebody who is immobile
Right.
and challenged to have that mobility and is just accustomed to that neighborhood, that was, I think that is one of the big pieces about renting, is that you just never know when you get the letter. Either you're going to get a rent increase, or you know what, they're selling and you got to move from
Yeah.
one day to the next. So
Right.
they give you obviously a lapse of time, but so I think that's when I really started to focus and say, I don't want that to happen again. I see how big of a a challenge it is for my elderly grandmother. So I just wanted to really pursue purchasing something where I could just put my roots and be like, this is not going to happen again, where I have to pick up and leave.
That's incredible. I mean, it does happen to probably
Lots of
90% of San Diego people. Like you, it's a beautiful place to stay, but we pay for it.
Sure.
And people are obviously, these buildings are changing into condominiums that people want to. At that time, they're either keeping them now or selling them. Saying it's still going on, it's still happening. We just got kicked out of ours, but they upped our rent, and we went to go purchase. So it's kind of that same situation. But I can't imagine doing it, because at least for my situation, it was just my family, and we were set to do it. We were ready to go.
Oh, okay.
But you know, being 24 now, you're probably 25. Like, okay, so how were you doing that? You did all the analytical work.
So
where did you find that help?
So, you know, I didn't come from inheritance money. I inherited financially providing for my elderly, my two elderly. So, and it wasn't something that I could approach my parents and say, you know, can you let me borrow, you know, a down payment, because that wasn't in the cards either. So it really did take some searching of how am I going to achieve this? I didn't know anybody that owned property. That wasn't anyone in my family at that time.
Yeah.
That could teach me, or I didn't even friends that had, because they had just graduated too. So
yeah,
everybody's some of them were living at home. So
that's what you do in college. You go back home, you figure it out, you save some money, and then you move on.
Yeah, that's true. And so that just wasn't my scenario. And so I really had to dig deep and quickly.
Yes.
Because time was of essence. And so I came across programs that could help pay for the down payment. And so I searched more and more and really got all the information, and quickly moved on an opportunity, a loan option that would allow me to purchase a property without paying a down payment.
So you didn't have to put down any money.
No down payment.
Is that program still available, or is that something that you just happen to find?
So really what happens is that right now it's just some great opportunities, because California actually set aside billions of dollars to provide programs. So there is programs now that, let me just give you an example. There's one that's about to roll out. I just got off the phone yesterday with a person that's well versed in down payment assistance programs, and it's going to roll out in about 2 weeks. And if you make less than $211,000 in San Diego, or in California, then you can qualify for this program that will pay for not only your down payment, but also your closing costs.
That's incredible.
And that one's not even out. But last year, if you think that one was good, last year we had one that a lot of our clients used, and they paid for your down payment. And so long as you lived in the property for 5 years, they would forgive the entire amount of the down payment.
And that program is no longer, because they ran out.
They ran out of those. In November, we got the letter that those funds had run out. But you got to have to just jump on these programs when they come out, because they are limited funds. But if you work with the right people, the right team, right realtor and lender that knows these things, and that's why I have those in-person meetings, down payment assistance program meetings in English and in Spanish, to kind of really, for people that are kind of like I was, I wanted to buy something and just didn't have, the $10,000, $20,000 or whatever it is to put down into a property. And I think that's what holds back a lot of people, is that, they feel like the next 10 years they got to save. But with these programs, it really facilitates for you to achieve that success sooner.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's super scary if you are a first-time home buyer, or even looking, that you're looking for one. If you're looking in San Diego, it's the price tag is high. And so when you're talking about 20% of a down payment, that's my savings.
Absolutely.
So now you go into a house with your savings gone.
Zero.
You
wipe yourself out.
Yourself out. You're hustling just to hopefully make the first payment, and get through that. I think that's everybody's biggest fear, is when you actually get in that house, am I going to still have this house in 6 months? Because of, you've wiped your savings out. So that's incredible. So you were there. So tell me your experience. So you found that loan.
So, it was interesting, because at the time that I was looking, I was looking specifically for a duplex or a triplex because I wanted to have my mom and my grandmother near.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a unit for them, and I wanted an independent unit for when I had my family so that they would be close enough that I could take care of them, kind of like a multi-generational
Yeah, that makes sense.
property. So unfortunately, I was being outbidded by cash offers at that time.
Yeah.
Cash is still king, but especially at that time. So I started to look for just regular, single family home residences, and came across one that the agent put zoning as unknown, and it really caught my eye because why would an agent put a zoning as unknown?
Yeah.
So I went down to the city at the time, and I went to the office and I said, hey, what is the zoning to this property? And they said, oh, well, that's zoned for multiple units. Okay. So it was listed, the price tag was listed as a single family residence.
Oh my goodness, seriously?
So I caught that
And
I would just say that oversight from
And
that.
you're not an agent at this point, are you?
No, at this point I'm not an agent.
Okay.
But again, going back, I'm very analytical
Yeah,
and I
but there's
catch
definitely- right.
details. So that's kind of what played a role. And obviously, the big guy upstairs must have been looking out for me
Yeah, of
because
course.
I was able to catch that, and I put in an offer right away because it had like detached units. They just weren't completely converted inside yet.
Got
So
it.
they needed work, but because they didn't put that in there, I was able to get it at a price that was phenomenal.
That's incredible. You still own it today?
Today I still own it.
Yeah.
Yes, I own it today, and thankfully, today I live for free in San Diego, and some months I get paid to live here because now that property generates enough to pay for my mortgage and some.
Yeah. That's incredible. I mean, and so that kind of started, did you feel like at that point you're like, okay, I can do this? Did that kind of spike something in you that like I can become a realtor?
Like I said, even in college, I was in college, I had talked about, I want a duplex. And I was just a poor, broke college student eating
Yeah.
top ramen. So, but at that time, I always envisioned wanting to get into property in San Diego. And so when this opportunity arose, it was incredible. And so my realtor at the time was a broker, and she saw what I came across, and I showed her. I said, hey, this property, I want to jump on it, and here's why.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? I would love to have you on my team. Why don't you just get licensed and come on board?
Isn't that crazy how that works?
And I said, well, let's talk about that more once we close.
And I'm a total believer in, I don't know where this always comes from, but there's always a higher being. Whether, again, this is a podcast, it's not a religious show, but if you put out good karma and you do good things for yourself, your family, it's going to come back to you. And I truly believe that happened to you in this situation. You needed a place to be. You were there for your family, and the universe was there for you to provide in that time, to open that door for you to, one, live free in San Diego, and two, start a flourishing career in real estate because this lady saw something in you. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, she was looking for it. She was not just waiting. It's a huge factor that she was actually doing something towards finding that. Because that property can just be there, and she would have just
right.
not
It
did
wasn't
anything.
just handed to you. Obviously,
Yeah.
there was definitely some factors that went into it. You still did your work. You saw that not the mistake, the the
Oversight.
the oversight,
Yeah.
and you knew what you were talking about. I think that's incredible. So now,
definitely, when I got that letter that we had to move because they were selling it, definitely started the search quickly.
yeah,
And then, trust me, lots of prayer went into that.
So that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, going back to that, I think it's and it's not a religious podcast either, but if you ask God for something, you had to kind of go out and seek for it. He's not going to just land in your lap.
right. There's definitely a prayer that will help, but you have to put in your
Exactly.
work and show him that you're
Exactly.
or her, him. I'm not again, not a religious podcast. There's a higher being.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just, I don't even know I have thank God in my, I literally says thank God on my prayers, or not my prayers in my notes right here. So right now you are with the Capel Group, correct?
Yes, so right now I'm with the Capel team. Yes.
It's Capel team at Compass.
Capel, yes, with Compass. So Compass is #1 brokerage in San Diego, and our team was just published in the San Diego Business Journal as the top number 12 team in San Diego Compass.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And we just got word yesterday that we're platinum team again this year.
That is amazing.
It's the leadership of Patrick and Christine is phenomenal, and I'm very excited to be on this team.
Well, we're very lucky to know that team and to work with you guys. And they do it right. They're picking the right agents to be on their team. I mean, you're sitting right here in front of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're aligning themselves with the right agents, which helps out. So now are you working with anybody to build that same kind of situation you are in? Is that what you pursue on that side?
Yeah. So we work with, we work with investors because we do also specialize in 2 to 4 units.
Yeah.
And so we do have that investor side, but really it's about, for me, and just with my story, like I told you, my background, it's about informing people that want to get into a property in San Diego and providing them the tools and the means of how I did it, and maybe they can do something similar.
Right.
And then also leveraging meaning that, hey, if they want to get into a duplex, a triplex, or fourplex, that we can show them how to do that and become, as mom and pop investors like you and I, just normal people, you and I, that just want to build their portfolio and just don't know how to go from a single family or from a condo into a multi-unit, then I also show them how we can do that.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same thing, kind of live free in San Diego.
Yeah.
Get to that point that they can live free, build some generational wealth as well.
That's primarily it.
I think that is.
Creating generational wealth, especially in the city of San Diego where you can do that. Like I mentioned, San Diego has an average appreciation about 6%. So
a year, or is it
a year?
A year, okay.
A year. So when you look at 30 years of data, the average is 6%. I can't say that for other cities, but for San Diego, you can. And so that's why you can build generational wealth for you, for your family, or, for the people, for your loved ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think, they need to come out and find you for sure, because you are very analytical, and that's some great statistics there because, again, San Diego is one of the best places. So you're trying to build generational wealth for your family, right? Right now?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. So, right now we have the triplex that I held on to, and so because of the appreciation, obviously it's appreciated, and I've done long-term leases. I've also do Airbnb, and so I'm able to show my clients what the options they have in order to rent out and produce the income for their mortgage. And
nice.
So, yeah.
What do you recommend for Airbnb? Do you enjoy renting out your space to other people?
Yeah, so the way it's set up is that it has a separate entrance, so they never have to come through my house.
Good.
So it's
on your property. It's of one of those.
It's on my property,
triplex,
but my house is independent from the other 2 units, so it just works out very organically for us. And you have to get, one of the things that I teach my clients is how to get Superhost on the onset. Because when I did Airbnb, I didn't have friends that knew what I was even doing, and they're like, "Wait, what are you doing?"
I know. I feel like you just kind of go out and do things.
Yeah, so I kind of had to really, dive deep and figure it out on my own. And once I figured it out, I'm like, okay, so now I can explain it. And when I explain it to my clients, I say, "Hey, we're going to open up the Airbnb account. This is the way to get to Superhost. Superhost is important because when people are looking on Airbnb, you'll be among the top 10 that'll pop up."
That's
and
incredible.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
And so,
what's a Superhost?
Superhost means that you get a special badge saying that you provide excellent service when they come. And so it takes lots of reviews to get you up to a certain, so you get reviewed by people that come and stay at your place.
Okay.
And based on your communication with them, how the place was, things like that. And so then you get to a level of reviews that gets you to that threshold.
Oh, good. So it's all review based. Mm-hmm. So what would you recommend? How do you recommend that to somebody? Like, do you go and say, "Hey, greet them," or just make sure you're accessible? Like when they call, you answer. Yeah. Just the little things like that.
Yeah. So one of the things that you can do is make sure that you respond within an hour That's one of the things. Hey, this host, you're called a host when you have one.
Right.
A host will respond within an hour. But really, I go out to the property with my clients and be like, okay, let me look at your space. Let's kind of see this. Look, if you do this, and this, this is going to elevate you to get more people to come in. And so, just kind of going through, because now I know what people look for. Let me just give you one example is just having a workspace. A lot of people that use it come into work, or they're at a conference and they're staying in town. So just by providing just a little table, like a little
desk.
Office desk kind of, it doesn't have to be a huge one, just something that now opens up for you to be a good spot for people that are just coming, not just to vacation, but to actually work. And so I just kind of go into the details of it with each client, with each situation, and what their setup is, and give them feedback on how they can get there.
That's very cool.
And do you have somebody, like, I'm guessing you hire somebody to kind of take care of the place, like cleaning and...
Yeah, so I have somebody that takes care of the cleaning, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like, and this is so stupid, but I'm that Virgo. I like when things are labeled. I get your label maker out.
You're that kind of guy?
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. Like, I just want to know, like, if this light switches to outside. And it's not just me, like, testing it, obviously, but, like, if it was...
It is great.
Like, here's the remote to the main TV. Here's the remote to the fireplace. Like, just if they mark them down, makes it easier, whatever they can do. Post your Wi-Fi in accessible place like that. Because if you don't have free Wi-Fi like me,
exactly,
everywhere you go.
Sure.
It's just those little things.
So
that
just
get you
nuggets of information that I've kind of learned through the process on my own, trial and error. And so just to eliminate the error part for anybody else and just get them faster and quicker there.
Have you seen any regulations that have affected the Airbnb?
Yeah, so SRTO short. So in San Diego, they passed a certain mandate or law that certain areas in San Diego can only have one Airbnb if you're, depending on if you live on the property or not. And there's different tiers to it. And that was out actually last year,
right,
where you had to apply for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Like if you're close to the beach was a different tier and a different registration price. But if you're outside of those city limits, say northern or southern San Diego, then you don't have to. It doesn't affect you.
It doesn't affect you.
So it's only a certain area. Yeah, and I let my clients know that too, and I kind of go over that with them, especially when they're looking for a property.
Now, explain that a little bit more. Do you know about those Airbnbs on, like, say, Mission Beach?
Yeah,
I know that was like kind of a lottery.
It was on a lottery, yeah. And as a matter of fact, they expected a lot more applications, and they didn't get as many as they had anticipated.
Really?
Yeah. So it was actually, they had a newspaper run. It was published in the newspaper.
And they're like, people, yeah.
So it was interesting. Those were a lot more pricier than the ones that are in different parts of the city, just because of the same thing of them being the proximity to the beach.
So in that fashion, you can only have one Airbnb as an owner?
So it depends. If you're like owner occupied, then you can have one Airbnb. The lottery was more so if you're renting out your entire place. If I remember correctly, it was just the entire place in those specific areas now.
Yeah.
But if you're in other parts of San Diego, that's not going to affect, how many you can have. It's just within a certain border line or boundary line.
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Our kids won't be able to afford to live here. So to build it, I'm not, I mean, it's kind of a joke, but it's, it is. It'll be tough for them to own unless you are building some wealth or some property for them, some assets for them to have when.
Or they use these down payment assistance programs.
Or they come and see you.
Yeah, or they come and see me, and then we can talk about making those options a reality for them.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So all set aside here, I just want to be straight up with you. I think you're an amazing woman.
Oh.
You are a single mom with 2 kids, and that's not easy to be. There's a lot of women out there that struggle doing that. So your hustle to me is just amazing. Like me, I tell you what, like me getting up and doing stuff just on one Thursday, because my wife has a BNI group and I've got to do everything for the kids in the morning. I don't know how you do it every day.
It's the crock pot has been very helpful. The Instapot, and and I also have my mom that's 74 that I take care of. Well, I say I take care of, but, you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, she helps me out a lot.
Moms
too.
are strong.
So I think it's been, but, you know, she has her own medical limitations. So, it's been really thankful to God that I can even be here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming and spending time with us today because it looked like it was going to fall right there. No, it's amazing. And I think a lot of women hopefully hear your story, and this is like everybody, not just women, but like you getting up every day to do this and then spending time with us, sitting here with us jokesters. And thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're not done yet though. I'm going to do, but we have been talking for almost an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did I not tell you how fast it was going to go?
Yes, you did.
There's a lot of great information out there. I want to get a little bit more from you.
Okay.
First off, you have this is what we're going to work on this year. I'm just telling you this because I want you to work on this because I need it to.
Sounds good.
You need to get your information out there.
Okay.
And you're starting today. I love it. This is it. We're going to, you're going to have some of this to take home, but people need to know this. You're not on Instagram. I need you to be on Instagram.
Yes.
It's the biggest platform out there. It's free. You just need to show your life and what you do. And I think everybody needs to hear this story. Living in San Diego for free is not something that you can take for granted or ever think that you won't be able to reach. It is out there. You can do it. But you got to find that. You got to align yourself with the right people.
Yes. Yeah. Have the right team around you that has the knowledge.
Yeah. And Noemi, you are the person that they need to come find and talk to, whether it's just a conversation and maybe they have someone else they're working with, but I know that you would help them and put them in the right direction, but they would love to come and work with you. So you need to change that. You need to get out there, get your social media. Get your social media.
It's free. You don't have to.
Talk to Tony. He'll help you out here.
Okay,
But
Tony's going to help me get on
Tony's
IG
going to
and-
get you on IG.
I help you.
All right.
Noemi.
Sounds good.
Noemi.
That's right.
Noemi.
Yes.
Yes,
Let's do it.
because I truly believe in the person you are, and you do have a story to tell. And
Thank you.
Yeah, and just the programs that you seem like to be very knowledgeable about. Like I didn't know those things. Like,
no,
what?
yeah. Tony's, when I told him who was coming on today, his ears perked up. He's like, oh, he's not sleeping in the corner. He's actually,
I do pay attention. Believe it or not, I
he's
do
so
pay
excited.
attention.
Yeah. So thank you.
And I have so many questions. I'm like, oh no.
I know.
It's
So
not about me. It's not about me asking questions about Levi.
Right.
Okay.
It's not about me.
Yeah, I definitely want to help as many people as possible. So many hard workers here in San Diego, and I just would really like to get them the help they need to transition from renting to be an owner of their property, just for their even for their generational wealth, so that they can, with 75%, it sounds like that 75% of landlords are going to probably raise the rent if they haven't done so already. I mean, I just think of inflation and how that's already going to be really impactful for them.
Right.
So showing them that there's a way to get out of the rent, a renter path and getting on to the ownership.
Yeah. It's not having to leave the state. California forever. Yeah. It really is. It's don't leave the state because of this. There's ways. Can't afford it. Usually.
I have a saying like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
So just make sure you make it here first.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back to a fun segment called Finish the Sentence. Are you ready?
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Super easy. I mean, I'll add some stuff too. I already kind of told you one, but here's the first one. Can't believe I actually blank when I was younger.
Give her an example.
Okay, I'll tell you my weird story. Obviously, everybody. I might have said this before, but I'm a weird guy. I don't know what it was with me when I was little. I feel like everything had an emotion. And so when I would drop a piece of candy, mainly a Skittle, I always loved the Skittles. So was my son. M&M Skittle. I would drop one, and instead of picking it up like a normal kid would do and put it in his mouth, I was told don't eat off the floor. And I always thought, oh man, that Skittle is all by himself. I don't know what it's always been, and I don't know if it was because my parents are still together and just that relationship that I couldn't leave that candy by itself. And so my mom would find a pair of Skittles everywhere.
So cute.
But that's a weird thing. I don't know why I did that as a kid. I don't have any explanation. Maybe there's a psychiatrist out there that can tell me that.
I do have an explanation.
Well, no, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, because you have a great heart.
I got a good heart.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't know why, but it was for candy. So I don't know why I did that, but that's something
That explains a lot of your behavior now.
I can't. Is there anything interesting that you did? Like, you can't believe
you know
you.
what? I can't believe I used to play marbles so long. Honestly, like it's
Marbles?
Marbles, yeah. I don't see anybody. Nobody. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't seen kids really play with marbles. But we would spend hours playing marbles outside, just
Right?
trying to like get it into the little hole, or even bike riding till like the sun went down. Like now it's kind of a lost thing.
That's
so
such a lost
I'm
thing,
probably
yeah.
aging myself here. But anyway,
No, we're all in that same boat because we, yeah.
But I just can't believe I would, my cousin, my brother, and I would spend so much time just playing on marbles outside, digging the little holes, seeing who could get it in.
Isn't that crazy that
Yeah.
little
That little
ball, that fantastic looking, like whatever color you got, you're like, this is my, and you would almost keep them as like prizes.
Yes.
Like you would, you'd put all the ones in the bag away that you were like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, these are my normal marbles, but this one,
right. This
time.
was my
Right
lucky
there.
marble.
Such a great time.
it was a great time. That was easy as that. Now we have like apps and I dig down.
You're competing with other kids and you just kind of put your skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
and
should
it was
bring 'em
never a
back.
prize either. It was just the fact that you were the one that got into the hole.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, you were like, feeling so great.
Sometimes you would compete for your other person's marble.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
You would
we
steal their
would.
marble, so
yeah.
you'd be like, put that marble
Right.
up against my marble, and then you'd pull out the big dog.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Oh man, you're right. Those
Oh,
are
man.
good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
I don't even think our attention span is there to sit there and do that. Like these days,
I
kids
wonder.
like could just sit there and
I
don't
wonder.
think so.
we got a lot going on. But
Yeah.
if we could go back to a simple time like that, that would be.
I cannot believe my parents, like, no, they love me and they care for me. It's just like, I cannot believe that they didn't kind of like just let me out and then just like, it's time for dinner, just call me back in. I was like, they don't know what I was doing nowadays. When I think about it, I could be hurt and stuff like that. You're fine. They trust me, I guess.
Yeah. He'll stumble home. He'll be fine.
Exactly.
Get
But he
your-
just better be here for dinner. That's all.
he better be here for dinner.
You better be clean for dinner and wash
Yeah.
those hands.
I guess they were like, if something happens, like, we'll find out. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, kind of learn your way around.
Well, I
stuff.
think back then everybody was looking out for each other. Now it's like
True.
you really just are scared of everything around the corner. That's how society has changed. Like it's just we're scared.
Yeah.
I having young kids, even especially a young female.
Yeah.
She went to she had to do something, and my son was at like a play date, and we said, okay, we're not gonna pick just to go pick you up. So we were like, okay, go to the park or something, or go to a place and eat. She went to a place and ate, and then she decided to go and lay in a park for an hour by herself as a 12-year-old. And I'm like, that scares me. That scares me. Now it scares me. And I'm like, I don't know why when our parents were just like more
see you
miles away.
later.
I was riding bikes in the desert with rattlesnakes and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
making my own ramps, like
Yeah.
no
Oh.
helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't helmet requirements. Like, and I'm worried about my daughter laying there in a packed
crossing
park.
the street, dude.
Like, yeah,
just-
she had to cross the street. I get terrified. It's just that our society has changed to where it's everything is fear based now,
Yeah.
and we can't just let them out.
I think because before, like, they, not that we don't do that with our kids, but like before they kind of like teach us how to kind of handle ourselves, right? That's why I think our generations tend to be very independent.
They taught us how to
How to handle
Survive.
stuff. Yeah, how to
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, don't cross the street when the cars are driving.
yeah. Well, I also think like it was like, okay, if
Don't
I'm
touch the
just
rattlesnake,
gonna let you
Levi.
know again, my parents love me and stuff, but if I was starting to walk without looking left or right
Oh, yeah.
before I crossed the street, I would get smacked.
Yeah.
And me
Same.
going, I don't like getting smacked, so I'm going to make sure I look left or right. It's the same thing as you go and grab for a pot.
Yeah.
Instead of, slap their hand away or whatnot, let them get burned. I'm not saying I do that now, but if it's kind of like, if you got burned, you're not going to do it again.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
touch a hot stove,
Yeah.
you know what a
Yeah.
hot stove feels like.
Exactly. You get burned alive.
And I think
Fall
that's
and hurt
where
yourself.
we knew how to take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
Like they trusted me not to touch a stove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you knew that you'll get burned.
Yeah.
Obviously, with some sort of like, keep an eye on them, right? Like that.
Yeah, keep an eye on
water.
them. Yeah.
hotter.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has those scars. I have them on my feet.
I mean, I have a bunch of scars
Yeah.
as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's
Curly.
different times, but I mean, we can do a lot of things. Just like we were talking about the other day, I'm guessing you too, that we can handle stuff. We can fix stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
hands on. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I've learned. I've learned, especially with being a single mom.
Right? That you have
I'm
to.
like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. How do I fix this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would change because that's the great part about technology. As much as we're like, God, I wish we could take technology away sometimes and stuff. But you know how many times I've YouTube stuff.
Oh gosh.
I can
Wow.
fix anything.
I know, me too.
Like, that's technology.
Like the garage.
Yes.
Yeah, you do the garage. Like I put a new motor in my garage just the other day, and like YouTubing, like, oh, I forgot I probably should do this, and yeah, it worked out. But well, that was one question. These questions just go down rabbit holes.
Went
Okay,
deep,
let's do
yeah.
a few more, and then we'll get you out of here. Let's see. I laugh when.
I laugh when, you know what? I love comedy movies.
Do you really?
Oh man, I action and comedy.
Like
just,
love comedy, like romantic comedy.
any kind of
Any kind of
comedy.
slapstick
Honestly, like
comedy.
just I love a good movie that makes me laugh or a good action movie.
What's your favorite comedy movie?
We won't say favorite. What's a good? Because favorite is always hard. I think I always
Yeah,
have that.
okay.
Like you can't pick a favorite, but what is a one go to that you would like to kind of chuckle at?
Well, you know what? Growing up, we would always, and I think it's part of the fact that we would have movie night, and we'd always pick like a funny movie.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was Chevy Chase was an actor, and he would. It was different ones, but basically the premise of it all is that he plans these family trips, and everything that could go wrong
Yeah.
goes wrong.
That was
So that's really helpful when now that I have kids.
yeah.
Because, things don't always line up when you travel with small kids. And so
Yeah.
I just always reminds me of the movie, and it just makes
Yeah.
me chuckle inside.
That was probably the best trilogy out there anywhere.
Yeah.
You have Family Vacation, European Vacation, which you didn't think was going to get any better, and it did.
Yeah.
And then you have Vegas Vacation,
Yeah.
like Christmas. I mean, I think there's
Oh, the
four of the
Christmas, yes.
Christmas
Christmas.
Vacation. Like that series
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah. So I just like good movies where at the end I'm just like, laughing because, some of this stuff can really, now that I'm, like I said, now that I'm a
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
I can totally relate.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't imagine if I lived where they lived and drove down to Disneyland and it was closed for renovations. I mean, and the funny part is you look
They didn't
back
have
at
phones to check
well,
on
that's the
Technology,
thing.
technology.
We laugh at that because that could possibly happen back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure if we watch like our kids watch it, they're like, why didn't they check on the internet if it was
Why
open
didn't
or
you Google
not?
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What, I'm sure there's a commercial or something that should have said it was closed, and it's like,
Yeah.
not back then.
Right.
No GPS.
Yeah.
You had
Maps.
a roadmap.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I'm watching stuff on the internet now where people are like, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me what this is. And it's just a clock. Not even a digital clock. It's just a hand clock like the schools have.
Oh.
But kids don't even know what that means. Or can tell me what time it says.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can't read the
Yeah.
time.
I found that crazy.
I find that crazy too.
Yeah.
But-
I found I was kind of going through some boxes in my garage, so I pulled them out into my bedroom to kind of go through them when the kids go to sleep, and I found a bag of undeveloped film. The
no,
cameras.
it was still.
It's still there. And there's like 4 of them, so I don't know if
Take
anything.
it.
I'm gonna take it. I don't know. I
Yeah.
have to Google where to take them.
I think Walgreens still does
oh,
it.
do they?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna check
I
it out.
think.
Pretty
But
sure.
man,
yeah.
I wonder. I mean, those are.
Do they
gems.
outsource it? I think
I
Walgreens
wonder.
still does
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, online. Yeah,
I mean, if I show it to my kids, they're gonna be like, "What is that?" But
Right?
I'm like, wow. I wonder if anything's gonna, like from my childhood, is gonna be
Yeah.
like,
Hopefully the
Yeah.
exposure, like, it didn't like, because those
Hopefully
were
not.
so funny. It's like,
So we'll
don't
see.
expose it to sun. And it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
don't open it.
yeah. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens there.
that's
so
cool.
cool.
That's awesome. Well, my favorite movie, I won't lie, another Chevy Chase film, Three Amigos.
That was
That one, I mean, my daughter's watching Steve Martin because
yeah.
Steve Martin is
Steve
still
Martin,
around and
yeah.
doing stuff, and Martin Short
Sure.
and stuff. So
Yeah, classic.
Three Amigos, just those little bits,
Yeah.
like my buttercup. Yeah,
I think mine's Step Brothers. I don't know if that's more modern.
that's a newer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's a Will Ferrell. I mean,
watched that
people
as a
know.
kid, so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're young. All right, you're out of this conversation. Okay, I would die without.
I would die without my family.
Yeah, family's big,
Family is big. Yeah.
and it's just not your I mean, it has to do a lot with your culture, but just your upbringing.
Just
everything, yeah.
upbringing, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Yeah. my mom and my brother, and just, obviously
You only
my
have the one
kids.
brother.
I only have the one brother.
Okay.
Yeah, we're super close. He lives in San Diego as well.
Is he
Oh, does he?
protective?
Huh?
Is he like protective? Like he always like. "Who
Oh
you're
yeah, I
talking to?"
mean that way. That's
Yeah.
why in UCLA the first couple of years were that's when I got the best grades.
Yeah. Watching over you,
Yeah.
making sure my little sis gets.
Are you a protective brother, Levi?
No, I'm the younger brother. I'm the baby. I get.
Everybody's
you know.
protecting him.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah. No, my sister, man, she's stronger than me. Jeez,
Like
I think same
physically?
3 years, probably.
Like
no,
physically?
I think just emotionally, and she,
Emotionally,
she has
mentally?
kids, and she has,
Yeah.
my nephew has some problems and stuff. So she's been through a lot, and she lives
Okay.
in just moving away from her family because of job. Like she's all the way in New Jersey now, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's
the other
far.
side,
We're all
yeah.
in on the West Coast in
Yeah.
Arizona, and then now San
Oh,
Diego.
wow.
So I don't see her very often. Rare phone calls. I probably should call her more. Technology. I should probably FaceTime more.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, so she is my hero. Like she's shout out Monique. Yeah, she's
There
tough.
you
She's
go.
always been tough. She's always been my protector.
Oh yeah.
Though you crawl under her bed at night, like when I was little, when I was scared. Never told on me when I did stuff. Oh my God, I can't believe I did this when I was younger. So really quick story. For some reason we were at the doctor's office. She might have an appointment. I was probably 12, 13. She was able to drive, so she was 16. She drove. I was waiting out in the car. I was all, I can do this. Got in the driver's seat again.
What?
At this age, like doesn't matter.
How old were you?
Probably 13.
Oh, okay.
Reverse.
Yeah,
Start pulling out.
Yeah, you
no
were
depth
old enough.
perception when
Yeah.
a car that's like shouldn't even be in the driver's seat.
Not experienced.
Maybe younger, and hit a car. I'm all zip, back in. Got back in the passenger seat. Somebody saw me, came out. They thought my sister. She's always looked really a lot older than me.
Was your
and-
mom?
She thought they were my mom,
Oh wow.
and she never told my parents. Sorry, mom and dad. But they didn't hurt the car. There was no like file or anything like
Yeah.
that. But she was just she
Kept
won't.
quiet.
She kept quiet, man. I don't know what it was. I would give her up so
is solid.
easily. But, and I watch my kids now tell on each other at the drop of a hat. And I'm like, I want that relationship. I'm like, you understand?
Yeah.
Your aunt would never do that to me.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have
It's
got to have each
different.
other's back. It's so
Yeah.
different. We're so
Yeah.
quick to,
My brothers will never tell me to either.
Yeah.
They will have my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will tell them sometimes.
you're the baby in the family.
Yeah, because I'm the
Yeah.
youngest one.
All right. In an ideal world, blank. I think everybody would own their own home.
Yeah. In an
Pretty
ideal
much.
world, we wouldn't be renting in San Diego.
Yeah.
There we go.
No one here would be renting. We'd be all owners.
That'd be amazing. Well, we know where to find you.
Yes.
Well, we're going to find out where to find you for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more. I work best when.
I work best when I work best when when I come across a difficult situation with a that a client is trying to achieve maybe, and they're seeing some obstacles, and I really like to buckle down and be like, okay, we're gonna solve this for this person. I will leave no stone unturned until we get the answer to kind of move them forward to close this escrow.
That's amazing.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a good feeling too, huh?
it's a good feeling just because, I fight hard for my clients.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll dig deep, and I just will go above if needed to, just to get them there, because I know how much it means to them.
Yeah. Because you've had that experience.
Because I've
You've
been
lived
there.
it. You've been there.
I was in a realtor when I purchased my first property, so I know what it's like, and I know what they're going through.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. The last one here. The advice I would give a new agent.
The advice I'd give a new agent is make sure I would say go buy yourself a property first, so
Really?
that you know what your clients are going through.
Yeah.
Because if you don't own and there's a lot of agents out there that don't own property.
Right?
And so they will not fully understand the emotional aspect and just everything that a client is going through just to even get an offer accepted and viewing homes. If they don't go through that process, I don't think they'll understand. They'll be missing out on a certain level of understanding for their clients.
Yeah. Agreed.
And so, so as a new agent, I would say get yourself through that process, buy yourself a condo, whatever you can afford,
Right.
so that you can, when you are walking someone through this whole process, you'll have a lot more compassion through their emotional journey. And I think you'll bring more to the table than any other agent. And I think that's what distinguishes us, Capital Realty Group, because we all own property, and some of us own multiple properties. So, we bring that to the table that I think other people maybe can't tap into or understand a client sometimes because
they haven't been through that experience.
Yeah.
That's great advice. That was so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That was amazing. So tell everybody what's next for you.
So what's next? Well, if you want to learn more about these down payment assistance programs, or even to learn how to leverage from a condo and a single family home into multi-units, feel free to contact me and my team. We're here. I have an English down payment assistance seminar coming up on March 28th in person with limited seating here in Mission Valley. And then I have another one in Spanish on April 18th. And we're going to be covering in detail. I'm going to actually have a lender that's seasoned in these down payment assistance programs present there. So you can actually talk to that person about your individual scenario right there and then. That way it's not like, oh, go contact. No, let's just get you on board. Let's get you on a plan. And even if you don't think that, oh, well, I don't know this. I don't have a down payment. I don't have enough money. Just come to the meeting. Trust me, there's a lot of people that came to, or you think that your credit score is not high enough. I mean, for this one, I think it's going to be 660 or 680.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to have an 800 credit score.
Yeah.
So just come to the meeting. We're going to come alongside you. And if you're not ready now, we're going to create a plan so that you will be ready in 6-7 months from now. So don't let that hinder you. There's nothing we haven't seen already that we can't resolve and get you there.
Very cool. Are you going to be doing more of these programs throughout the year as well? I know it's still kind of early in the year.
Yeah, so
I know you said April. I don't want you to go too far about it, but like, is that what you're planning?
Yeah, so I think we're going to also transition into investment seminars, because I've been having a lot of questions of how to, for those that have clients that I've already helped that are into their single family. Now they're asking, well, how do I get into the 2 to 4 unit, and where do I invest in San Diego? And so there is strategic places to do it. I know that I did that for my own property and where it's located, and that's why it's jumped to the level of appreciation that it has. Not only just because San Diego has appreciation, but where in San Diego you invest is also helps a lot. So I'm probably going to do something like that coming up, talking about furnish finders and Airbnbs, long-term tenants and things like that. So for now, these ones are going to be about the down payment assistance programs, and we'll probably do some more of those because obviously the knowledge is needed out there.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do a couple of the investment seminars as well.
Very cool. Well, when you're ready for your seminar, I think I know a guy that has a clubhouse that you're more than welcome to use for the.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I would love. Yeah.
Let's talk. We'll talk.
Yeah.
And then so let everybody know your phone, if you mind, your phone number and how to get a hold of you.
Sure. My phone number is 619-251-3783. And you're welcome to text me or call me. And my email address is Noemi, Noemi, .Flores, Flores, @compass.com.
Go and find Noemi Flores at Compass because, again, for one, watch this podcast. Great information. Thank you again for being on our show. It was such an amazing time.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a good experience.
Yes, absolutely. It was fun to be here with you and Tony.
I know. Well, Tony, not so much, but just kidding. No, Tony, you're amazing, buddy. Tell everybody where they can find this show.
Well, everybody, you guys can find us on YouTube. Go and check us out. Go ring that bell, subscribe, like, and comment. Share the videos with your friends so they can learn more about how to live for free in San Diego. I think everybody would love to do that, right?
Of course.
So also go follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We are also there. Leave comments to Levi. Tell him how great he looks today. All right, guys. So thank you for watching and catch you guys later.